introduction.
What up, what up? I'm Adrian Young.
I'm Ali Shaheed Muhammad.
And we are
The Midnight Hour.
And you are listening to
Mega Late Show.
Hey. Skirt. All right, there we go. Now the official introduction has been done.
All right, there we go.
150.
Yo, do you have the Marley drop?
I do. I do.
Okay.
I don't have it on here, but I definitely do. I saved it.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta admit, yo, as much as I love Marley Marl, I don't like the Marley Marl party voice. Hey, what's up, it's your boy
Really?
Marley. I'm not a big fan of it, and never was, even when it was back on a joint.
Hater.
Peace to you, Marley Marl. It's a drop that I got though. Yeah,
I'm gonna make sure that I tag Marley in this video.
Oh yeah, let him know that I ain't appreciate him being in my. Yo, I chilled. Yo, shout out to the Mega Late Show, and shout out to you because you helped facilitate that. But the Mega Late Show. Oh no, I want to go back to that same beat for a minute. But Marley Marl was straight up in this house for like 6 hours.
Yep.
And to have that much time with just like a legend off of like an interview. What was crazy is as much jewels as he dropped during the episode, he dropped hella more jewels just talking to me.
Yep.
And so, yeah, man, that was dope. But we had a lot of guests. I wanted to, since it's episode number 150, I did want to recap a couple of people we've had on. Our first guest interview was not in studio, but it was, face to face. It was with Maceo of De La Soul.
Yeah.
And like Maceo and like Marley Marl, a lot of the dope guests that we've had on the podcast have been due to our relationship with you and Speakeasy. Now I asked Maceo myself, but you definitely facilitate the Marley Marl joint. Mark DeClive Low came through. Even though that first conversation. Can I just tell you guys a little bit how much of a goon I am? So
like
I'm sitting there.
Tell us.
I know, but people might need to know a little bit
Safe
more.
space.
So I'm chilling, and I walk into Speakeasy. It's early. We getting set up and everything like that. Nobody's really there. Mark DeClive Low is performing. This is when we were doing it at like Bakura Yokoyama, that underground kind of hotel. I forget the name of it. Koei? No,
Shitan.
Oh yeah.
Shitan.
So we was down there. Mark DeClive Low, one of the most incredible jazz musician, kind of fusion hip hop, electronic artist out right now. Japanese American type of cat. He's chilling.
Japanese
and Terry was
New
like,
Zealander.
"Oh,
He'll
excuse
be
me,
mad
excuse
at
me."
you.
He just live in Los Angeles.
Nobody want to be American.
Yeah. But we there, and then Terry was like, "Yo, what up, Mega?" He's like, "Man, last time you was so drunk. I remember I walked up to you and he was like, 'Where the bitches at now?'" I'm like, "Hold on a second, man." It's like, "Hold on." And I was completely sober at the time. This is before my like 3 years of sobriety, right? Because I went sober for a whole minute. I'm back on my dean.
Word?
Oh yeah, I was sober for 3 years because I knew I was fucking up. But it was things like that. Like Terry was just like, "Yo, you was bugged out last time." But the problem was that every time I would get really drunk, I would feel embarrassed about things, but everybody would tell me it's a good time. Yeah. Like, "Yo, you was killing it last time." The jokes. But yeah. I guess this is year 4 of the Mega Late Show though, and it's fun. I miss late, and I've been wanting to quit.
Nah, man,
I've been wanting to quit, not to stop doing like content, but to just kind of like do other things, not associated with now that it's only me. It make it feel kind of like, yo, it's like some narcissistic a little bit with the name, right? Like Mega's Late Show. You know what I mean? It used to be me and Late, Mega and Late's show. And now I just kind of feel a little bit, you know what I mean? Should I?
Giving up is hard to do, man.
I would say, man, don't walk away from it. I've also wanted to walk away from Speakeasy time to time, and the Corona hit, and I was forced to step back, and that made me realize exactly how much I didn't want to give up Speakeasy, because not only did I need it, other people were like, "Yo, I need it," and you may not see it, but you're doing folks a service. There's people that wait for you just to hear what you got to say and hear who you bring on here.
Next MLS coming out, man.
Right?
Yo,
You got any more of them MLS episodes?
Come on, dog.
Please, man.
I got these cheeseburgers, man.
I eat cheeseburgers, man.
Hey, I appreciate that, fellas, and but the thing is, I also want to keep rocking. I want the cheeseburgers. So if y'all hit me up, no matter what kind of
Show
cheeseburgers y'all
love,
got,
man.
you
Give
know what I
him
mean?
his flowers so he doesn't quit and give up and say
Straight
to
up.
Bolivia, man.
I just like a lot of it is like I want to focus on other content. I want to try to do different content, and I wasn't sure if Mega Late Show was the same like path that like the thing that I wanted it to be.
But isn't
You know
it
what I
supposed to grow and change like that? That's we make these things and we expect it to stay as these things that we want it to be, and that we have this idea of what it should be. But then once we make it, just like kids,
I
we
was
gotta
about to
let
say.
them go and let it
you
be
sound
what it's
like a
gonna
daddy,
be.
man.
See, I'm still a young dad.
I guess
I'm still a young father.
Just having
man.
like MLS, having that mega latencies, like, and then it just being you feels off.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it's that acronym and it's not like a one-man show.
You're right. That is a part of it, though. That is a part of it.
But,
That's
you
why
know,
I got
this is,
Secret House Against the World now. You know.
Bah,
what
bah,
I
bah,
mean?
bah.
I mean,
Like,
well,
comment, and subscribe. Secret House.
Yeah,
Secret
Secret House.
Against the world, Tokyo.
Yeah, that's my shit right now, though. Damn, I ain't even introduced you guys. Everybody know.
I need no introduction. I am the dark.
I was gonna sample that part of the last episode where I was like, he was like Maurice Shelton, and then we was doing the Marlowe thing, and I was like, go down to the UFC gym so I could whoop your ass. Yeah, my man Maurice Shelton, actor, historian, semi-retired professional mixed
Semi-retired.
martial artist, still a martial artist, still a trainer.
Yeah, it never goes away.
In a variety of things.
And
we
I
work
whoop
on
your ass for a fee. I don't whoop
Look
ass
at these,
for
look at
free.
these joints right here, dog. Look at these joints. Show them those joints. You know what I mean? We did push-ups. No, but you do a variety of things, and actually Maurice has been on the show a few times recently, and I've been loving I've been reaching out to him a lot because I like the energy that you bring to it, and I think we got a good little vibration type of thing happening here.
you.
So it's good to have you back, my brother.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, good to have you back, Jet Axel.
Bah, 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 bah.
Jet don't like to talk about himself, so I'm gonna have to hype him up again and shit.
Hi, dozo.
So Jet is a person that has been doing the Secret House Against the World, which is where we do kind of commentary on musical albums. I'd love to call them reviews, but mostly they're conversations about musical albums and music, and hopefully it'll become like things about pop culture and other things like that in the future. But Jet is also he's a musician himself. He's a person who used to run a very like expertly,
Majide.
yeah, it's like a very crazy Japanese music podcast, right? And so Jet is one of the people that and I know a variety of motherfuckers out here that listen to Japanese music, but he's kind of a brilliant kind of genius when it comes to that. He knows all the people in the same way that I know underground independent hip hop, so he's got a great knowledge base on that. He's also
Pitchfork plagiarized us recently. That was cool.
hey, hot.
Yeah.
Hey, you
Again.
made it. You made it.
Did they Elvis you? The Elvis too?
Oh, they Elvis does. Yeah. Fuck Pitchfork. Fuck Nathan Yu. Let's get it.
Hey,
right.
right.
Nathan,
But he's also-
we're watching you.
He's also
Yeah.
like a beautiful person. He does modeling, and you probably seen him on like Uniqlo ads or on videos with people who are like hella like good.
He drinks my
shit.
milkshake from time to time.
Conventionally
that-
beautiful.
That
No
just
comment.
didn't even. I don't even know where to go with that.
Wait, where is that reference from? Is that from There Will Be Blood? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was a Khalees or like
Those who know,
our
know.
milkshake brings Jet to the yard, and
He's a
they're
great
like,
model. Great figure in entertainment, man.
Yeah.
I'm
Man.
pleased to actually share the camera with him.
We have.
I mean,
yeah.
First
yeah.
time.
That's how we met. Yeah.
No, the
I
second
was-
time.
I was out with Jet, like just drinking street beers a couple weeks back, and I was surprised. I thought he was gonna be getting all the women and shit, but it was all dudes like looking at him like that's a pretty dude. I'm like, what the fuck is going
Yeah,
on?
the afro is, it's an important cultural signifier in the Western world. In Japan, it's like owning a nice car. Like,
yeah,
you think people are going to be like paying attention to you, and instead it's just dudes.
I was like, yo, I'm out with Jet tonight. We in Ikebukuro, the red light district. There's all types of ladies and shit. I'm looking real good. And then like it was just mad dudes like,
Surprise.
and they're trying to sneak it too, like with the side eye, like but like following him the whole way around the corner. I'm like, what? Is this your life, Jet? Is this how you live your life?
Used to it.
Oh, man.
Welcome to my life.
It's all
Word.
good, man. So
And-
good.
What's up, man?
And all that to say that, man, today is since this episode number 150, I did want to bring on a person who is very dear to me and special to this Japanese community.
He's a
and
pillar.
a pillar of the community and one of the most influential cats, especially brothers. This ever set foot in Japan, man. The legendary. Oh, hold on, let me get the applause drop. The legendary Brooklyn Terry.
That's funny. Can we call me a legend after I'm dead? And I just be.
Hey,
Brooklyn
I
Terry
think
forever?
I
Now, man,
actually
give the flowers
shoot.
to the people while they're here.
And you
to
know
receive
Grand
them,
Mega
man.
Flowers, man. I'm the
Grand Mega
all-time
Flowers.
heavyweight champion of the flowers.
Grand Mega Flowers.
I'm the leading champion. I'm the leading scorer in 6 statistical categories of giving flowers.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah,
Thank
you know
And
where I got
appreciate.
I got the
100.
name Grand Mega Flowers. You know where I got Grand Master Flowers,
Yeah.
right? But Terry, before you tell us and thank us and be humble like you usually do, how you typically are, I just want to take a moment to kind of let people know a little bit about our relationship, right? Now I met you through Speakeasy.
Yep.
and you've been on the podcast before, and there was a malfunction. We went out to your studio
Yeah.
in Machida, and there was a bit of a malfunction which caused us to lose about 20 minutes of the recording, right? And when I met you and when I did that recording with you, I knew a few things about you.
Yeah.
I know that you were involved in the dance community. I know that you were an influential figure, but I didn't know much. In fact, in that recording, I even, at one point, I called you a B-boy. And I did it not in the sense that you weren't a B-boy, because to me, anybody who has that B-boy stance is a B-boy in our era. You know what I mean? Even if you didn't throw fucking wrist 90s, I'm a B-boy standing my B-boy stance type of shit.
Most b-boys never threw wrist 90s. Just to
I
get
mean,
that out there.
hey, check out the photographs, though. I do those. I used to do those, right? I used to hit the wrist 90s, easy. But I called you a b-boy, and that was kind of a misnomer, because you were more prominent within the house dance community.
House and
and
hip-hop.
and you were a part of. You grew up at your youth. You were growing up in the 80s during the kind of real flourishing and explosion of the hip hop and house community, which were intertwined. A lot of people don't realize that how intertwined those were up until like 91, when CNC Music Factory and then the hip hoppers decided that house was not allowed in the hip hop parties.
Actually, what happened was they decided was, I don't want people to see me enjoying house because house is gay.
Okay,
you
I
go.
mean
That's
that's
what
a
was
major
decided.
reason.
There you go.
You're absolutely right about that.
Right? That's the thing that was decided. But yeah, I'm old. Let me put that out there.
We old.
I'm
Jet the
old.
only one that can't
Yeah,
say
I know.
that.
I'm old.
Jet,
Yeah,
man.
You gotta.
Youth is
You can
wasted
do it in
on
a
the
little bit of
young.
Yeah,
time.
right. You still got
Like-
like 2 in your age.
Give me another 300 days.
Okay, you hit 30.
I'll be old.
That's a
Hold
year.
on, man. Congratulations, you've made it.
Give me another.
Hey, man, your hips gonna be hurting for
60 or
no reason.
70. Shit.
But yeah, you're
So-
an older cat.
So,
Yeah, go on about your old ass.
With your old ass.
so I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, raised in Brooklyn, New York, and some of the stories that I have and just was living as my life, I didn't even know until like the past 10 or 15 years. Like, wow, that's what I was seeing. One of those stories is like the person you got your name from,
Right.
Grandmaster Flowers. I went to this, my elementary school was PS 44 in Brooklyn, New York. Bed-Stuy, do or die. You know what's up. Before it was gentrified. Bed-Stuy did or died before it was gentrified.
Check out our review of
Shout out
Bed-Stuy
to
is
the-
Burning by
Yeah.
Sky Zoo
Yeah.
on this YouTube channel that you are currently watching.
That's true. Check that out.
Secret House Against
we
the
talk
Wall.
about gentrification quite a bit.
So this
Hey, okay.
my sister used to take me to these park jams in my elementary school park. I didn't know who I was listening to. This is like 1978.
So you actually was seeing like Grandmaster Flowers.
I was going
crazy
and
to me.
listening to Grandmaster Flowers, and I didn't even know. And then my mother and my sister would take me to Far Rockaway to Reese Beach, and Grandmaster Flowers was playing there too. So he was like the big dude. Right around the corner from my grandmother's house was Fab Five Freddy, who also used to come to those blocks. Like, and this is the world I was growing up in, but it wasn't a thing. It was just life.
Just life, yeah.
You weren't doing hip hop. You were just being a black youth in Brooklyn.
That's why when you call me a b-boy, I think not to big myself up, but I honestly think I'm a b-boy in a purist sense because I didn't have to consider being a b-boy. It was just like, I mean,
I still call myself b-boy Omega Legs, and I haven't hit a 6-step in 6 years. But it's because I come from that tradition. Like I was one of those I am hip hop heads. But one of the things that I wanted to point out about that, you coming from that era, is that you have been around for a long time. You have seen the community change, and you also have been wildly influential about it. And I wanted to kind of ask you, because you're the kind of the youngest member of Elite Force crew.
Yep.
So all of the people in Elite Force crew,
that
right?
just means the motherfuckers is old.
It also means when they was doing the Remember the Time choreography and dance, your mother wouldn't let you leave school to be a part of that music video as well. And that, I mean, that's just one aspect or one thing that Terry has done. Everybody knows the fucking Remember the Time video. Magic Johnson was in that.
I didn't
Eddie
do
Murphy.
I didn't do it.
Iman was
I'm not
that.
in it. My crew was in it.
But you know, because his mom wouldn't let him. But that is the lineage that you come from.
Yeah.
And I wanted to start more with like the name and your name, because I wanted to get into your new name. But before that, can you kind of tell us how long you've been in Japan?
Oh man.
Or coming to Japan? And start with your crew. Like, how long have y'all been coming? Because I know you and the reason I'm trying to frame it this way is because you're so humble. I know you're not going to want to give yourself props, but I want you to kind of lay out how influential you and your crew's influence has been to Japan.
So I think one of my crew members, the first time, my boy Voodoo Ray.
Rest in peace.
Voodoo
Ray.
Rest in peace, man.
Rest in power.
The first time he came here was like 91 with Two in a Room. Remember that group, Two in a Room? He came here with Two in a Room in 91. And then
what an incredible life.
Stretch and Link and Loose Joint came in 92. I think Khalif also came in 92. They just came to do Dance the Light, which was the first Dance the Light to have ever been done. If you guys know what Dance the Light is. If you don't know, Google it. It's kind of, Dance the Light is probably the reason that the rest of Asia is doing hip hop, because of, at the end of the day, everything is economics. Japan at the time had the economic power to create those shows and create those shows and record those VHS tapes, sell those VHS tapes, and then market them, and they were sold around Asia, which helped to spread hip hop dance and house dance around Asia. My crew did the first one. Jeez. Then skip a little forward, folks are back and forth, but skip forward to 1995. That was the first time I came, and I came.
How old were you at this time?
I was 22 years old.
Hey, a very young,
fresh and green.
A young mustache.
I was, and I was a bad boy.
Go on.
I was popping them like grapes. Let me stop.
I was like Caligula, I was popping them like grapes.
Yo, so I came here. We came with Mariah doing the fantasy tour.
Oh
wow.
Damn.
Sweet fantasy.
Sweet. It was sweet.
Very sweet.
I was 3 years old.
Yo,
I was
funny. I have a daughter who's 3 years younger than you. My oldest daughter's 25.
What?
Hi, Miyabi. Daddy loves
95.
Hey, shout out to the daughter, as I'm about to tell y'all about what I was doing with Mariah back when I was 15 years old. You know what I mean? It was like a little 13 looking at that honey video. Hit different.
There are children watching this podcast.
This is a family-oriented.
It's a Christian podcast.
You're right.
Whatever. Put that little black and white. Put that little.
Hey, yo,
kids, how you think you got here?
yo, can I ask a legitimate question that I don't know the answer to, and
Yeah.
it's kind of weird to not know it? Is Mariah Carey black?
Yes, she is.
She's half black,
Her
right?
father is darker than me.
And her mother is a white
Her
woman?
mother's a white woman.
You about to
Carey's
hit
so
a, you about to
fine,
hit a
dog.
tangent right here,
Really?
man.
She's so fine,
It's
dog.
funny because
I always loved her.
no diss, Mariah. I love you to death. but if for me, if I saw, you can see in New York City, you see 1,000 Mariahs walking down the street.
I don't
It's
care.
just
don't
like
care.
that. It's like Nike. It's branding.
Well, she was just like one of the women that was on television that looked different than some of the other women.
Yeah.
You got to remember at that time with the women that was trying to tell me to be attracted to Cindy Crawford's old flat ass.
Wow.
They was trying to tell me to be attracted to Pamela Anderson's old balloon boobies.
Wow.
Like, you know what I mean? And that's why, I remember when J-Lo started blowing up, they was like, oh, she got booty. I was like, yo, Faunisha got mad booty compared to J-Lo. And it wasn't something new for me for girls to have booties. I was already attracted to that because the biological imperatives that was happening along in my body told me
Encoded in your DNA.
Booty
But-
is the answer.
But see, I was always confused about Mariah because I didn't know if she was like some type of, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I never questioned it
For
either.
Vision of Love, though, man. I knew.
Oh, that is a jam.
Vision of
When
Love.
she
I
had
knew.
it, see, when she had the hair, she just had, you know.
No, I knew, and then
It wasn't
came out
laid.
later about all the stuff with Tommy Mottola and all that, and then
Oh man, I got a great Tommy Mottola story.
there you go.
This is the thing.
Segue.
Oh my God!
Wait.
See, wait, no! Stop it! Pause it! I took us on a whole different tangent. And
Yeah, I
shit.
told you
Tell
you
us
were gonna be
about
on the
90.
tangent,
I'd
man.
be doing that. Tell me about 95. You
Okay,
being
okay.
here, goon maneuvers. Let's do it.
95, my crew, we were kind of famous for not just touring with the artists that we toured with, but wherever we landed, we would set up our own shop. We would set up classes, we would set up parties, and we did that especially in Japan because we already had Japan on lock before Mariah ever came here. Like, we had our own show inside of Mariah's show, and we were featured as Elite Force inside Mariah's show because our fan base was so big, and we were teaching a lot of the artists in Japan. One of those artists that we taught, his name is Sam from TRF, the group TRF.
There you go. TRF. Hey.
I don't know that,
TRF, man.
but shout
What's up,
out,
boy?
yeah.
Right, that's a big like
They huge, boy.
that's Avex's first group ever.
They,
Okay.
So
They made some money with
original.
that.
They,
like boy bands.
I don't even want to get into that. Jesus. So because of that, we were allowed to have our own show inside her show. And then what we would do is we would set up classes around the city. And this is before there were any dance studios except for like Broadway Dance Center in Japan. And we would set up parties. We would get DJs like DJ Kimbo. Shout out to Kimbo.
Hey,
who for me-
episode number 1 something. He was on the podcast.
who for me is the best Japanese DJ. For me, top 2 in Japan is
He just won like an Abina event or something like
he's
that. Yeah,
not a
He's
game, man. He's man.
Kimbo.
Listen,
Check out the
Shout out.
episode with him, man. He was telling us how he bought like the Far Side out here before they were the Far
Yep.
Side when they were dancers,
Yep.
and then they were telling him like, "Yo, we're about to release an album,
Yep.
the first Far Side album."
Kimbo's
I mean,
the
like.
truth.
There's a really amazing connection between Japan and the United States when it comes to hip hop culture and black culture.
Yeah.
In fact, if there's any other group of people other than black people that made streetwear fashionable, it was Japan.
yeah,
Especially when it comes to the sneaker scene.
economics.
Yeah,
From its origins, you know what I mean?
and even like moving into the early 2000s, you know, I mean, it's like Pharrell and Nigo,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
Billionaire
indeed,
Boys
indeed.
Club, like Bape,
Indeed.
that whole scene, like
Economics.
money.
You know, people say economics, and my first thought is like, let's go political. But I didn't. I decided
chomping at the
today.
bit. Yeah, you like-
I decided today not to go political with this.
I'll
'cause
do it for you.
I said that too, though, right? I said if he go there, I'm gonna go
I
there.
mean, there's
Yeah,
there's a
let's
lot
go.
to be said, but like I do think ultimately, like one thing I love about here and a reason why I got so into the music scene out here is that there is a genuine love and appreciation for what we do. I'm claiming
I
a
want
lot
to hear
right now
what
by
Terry
saying
says
we,
about this. Yeah.
but I think a lot of the people out here who are into hip hop, like
Oh,
genuinely,
they invest their entire being into wearing that.
Costume.
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of it they don't get any closer to the distance.
But you're from
that
Setagaya,
metaphysical-
like you're not going to be like living any kind of even semblance of a you know, quote unquote
It is
hip hop
performative
lifestyle.
in a
It's
lot of
completely performative.
Yeah.
But,
But
like,
before
that's how Japanese people
But-
invest in
okay,
their
so-
hobbies.
When I was in the, and I'm not even the earliest, but when I was coming here earlier, what hip hop was, and this is like just like the bubble had just popped. But what hip hop was way more or way less performative then.
Turntablism was huge out here.
Turntablism was huge.
They were selling more than guitars.
Right?
DJ
were going
to place a timestamp, like this is DJ Honda is already been doing turntablism.
Yep.
He's already gone to New York and
Yep.
performed. He's already created a kind of musical bridge.
Muro is
Muro
doing his
that shit too, right?
Yep.
With Marley Marl.
Yep.
And there's already this bridge forming.
Yeah.
And you and your crew are
On the
forming
dance side.
the dance
Yeah.
aspect of it.
So everybody, like we always talk about the elements of hip hop, right? Most of, for example, my boy and another one of my extremely close friends here in Japan, DJ Congo. Congo was a dancer. Congo was taught by one of my crew members, Khalif, Big Leaf.
Shout out to Big Leaf. Yo,
Dance
Big
Fusion.
Leaf.
Dance Fusion.
How come I ain't on your Facebook page no more, dog?
Uh-oh.
No,
You
he
mad
got-
at me because I asked you to hang up those lights at that speakeasy that one time while you was busy? I'm sorry, dog. I'm sorry. I know you got 5,000 friends already. You had to delete some to add other
No,
people.
no,
But I
he got
made the
taken
cut.
off of Facebook.
Oh, okay. I thought
for
he
some
just
reason, they just jacked his face up.
My bad, Big Leaf. Yo, love and respect.
You got hacked.
So, but like, so people were doing more than one element, and they did it from their heart. There was no money involved, which is always a big tell. It's always a big tell. So,
I mean, that was the
Congo-
culture at the time,
right?
too.
Yeah.
Everybody did more than one element.
Exactly. And Congo would get out there and rock on the dance floor in the party and then go home with somebody's girl. Because Congo is the fucking man, son.
There go
Right?
Congo again.
Not to pull Congo, like not to put him on blast, but Congo is called Congo for a reason. I'll tell you why
Shouts
he's
to
called
Congo.
Congo when the cameras are off.
Yes.
So
I don't know if I want to know.
you do
Shout
you
out
do
to
wanna know.
Lumumba Patrice.
So he, like people like
the
those
fuck up,
guys, people like those guys were, even though they had the finances, they still had this place inside their heart that wanted to be different than what was going on in Japan. They didn't want to be salarymen. They didn't want to follow that line that their dads and their uncles and everybody else did. So they rebelled, and their rebellion was actual
Very
rebellion,
hip-hop. Very hip-hop.
right?
That
hip-hop.
is a cornerstone of hip-hop culture.
Exactly. But now the rebellion that people are fronting with is just to flex on the gram. Like that's not rebellion, dude. You're just trying to get followers.
Eriko of
Eriko's a whole
sneakergirl.com. Actually, she actually made mention of this, and she even told me she dated Voodoo Ray for a while too. So
Yep.
shout out to Eriko. Check out that episode. She made an emphasis on saying that before there used to be this kind of rebellious, being an outsider, being different.
Yeah.
But now she says that people wanted to be outside of the box before.
Yeah.
But now people want to be different inside of the box within
So-
a certain set of
Exactly.
parameters.
People wanted to be outside of the box, but those people outside of the box built their own box, and now everybody has to live like them inside that box that they built, which is fucking.
So
you're
instead
just
of-
a hip hop salaryman.
Instead of freaking
No
your own
there's any
style.
structure there.
Shouts out to hip hop salarymen.
I think that's the name of the episode. I'm not sure yet.
Salaryman.
But yo, shout out to the hip hop
Our salary
salary.
person.
So how you feel about like when you go down to Mizunokuchi Station in Kawasaki at like 2 a.m.
And
there's like
freestyling.
But that's
200 people
but
breaking
that's-
out there.
But that's also like Foundation. Those are like legit b-boys that
Yeah.
come from this new type of b-boy culture.
Yeah. So they have that at Machida Station. They have people like freestyling on the street, and what we have to there's some things that we have to think about them. All of those kids that you see are university kids, which is like mind blowing for me, and they won't be doing this in the next 5 years. That's one thing that we have to remember. This is not
It's merely a
lifestyle.
club
This is
function.
a club function. It's an activity.
It's a social activity.
Sure, yeah.
So, and out of all of those guys, maybe 1% will continue to do it. And I know the people that I was coming out here during the 90s, God, it's coming out my mouth because I don't want to be one of those dudes like back in the day. I don't want to be that dude.
Back in my day.
Right? But
I'm that dude all the time.
I can look at that poster right behind you with Muro and Watara and Koji. So all of
And
these
you.
dudes and me
you.
and Kensuke and like I met Kensuke in 1998 in Morioka, and guess what he was doing? He was DJing.
Same shit, yeah. Shout out
So-
to Kensuke, man.
So all of these
Episode
dudes that I was
6.
meeting, all
I'm
these
serious,
dudes
I
that I
had
was
cats
meeting,
on this joint.
Kensuke is another one in my top 5 best DJs in Japan. It's for real.
He's right about that.
I can't help but laugh every single time I look at this poster because maybe about 6 months ago I was fucking a girl in Nakano.
That's funny.
And
What about those kids watching?
Looked, fuck those kids watching.
Christian.
Fuck them
those
kids.
kids.
Michael Jordan. You gotta
I
put the Michael Jordan gift there, like fucking kids.
I
My kids is watching.
this girl's phone's getting blown up.
Oh my
And she's like, "Oh, this guy's been very into me lately." And
It was Shin Shimokawa.
it was one of the names on that poster.
It wasn't
Um,
Shin. That motherfucker was in Ramel Z's band. He's in Death Comic Crew.
He was in Ramel Z's
You
band?
don't know Shin? He's in Death Comic
Yeah,
Crew
I
with
know Shin, but
He was with
Really?
Ramel Z.
see, and this is the shit that I'm talking about. Like these guys are still fucking here. We can talk about their economic situation and how they could pay to be in these places that, you know, as black folks, we couldn't pay to be in, but it was our
Yeah.
places anyway, so we didn't have to. But this 30 years now. We're talking 30, knocking on 40 years,
Yeah, at least.
and they are still here. While a lot of these kids that I see out now freestyling and b-boying, they won't.
Well, most
be.
of
But
most
I feel like the circumstances of a Japanese kid born in 2002 don't facilitate
not at all.
the ability to like
You're right.
commit to that kind of
You're right.
lifestyle.
Can I just
Well,
put my
I
hand up and
always
say neither did ours.
but Terry,
It's the
Terry, this
same
is.
in
I,
1970.
I'd like to hear your thoughts on this actually, because I usually say this, and people don't really understand what I'm talking about because they don't understand the cultural forces at play at the time, right? I usually say that my generation, the first millennials, right? I was born in '83. My generation is also the last generation of 4-element hip hop heads.
I totally agree with you.
97 is the year that I'm like entering high school. And you know, when high school is when your formative years. You know what I mean? Hey, my bad. I wasn't busting grapes.
born in '92. Like, don't
I
look at
was
me.
busting grapes and
This baby wanted to jump out that window.
I started busting my grapes like 2 years after that. But I was a 4-element hip hop head that saw the trajectory towards this kind of separation between what I perceived as hip hop culture and the commodification of art and the commodification of blackness and the commodification of all these things. And so we took the ball and we went underground. We didn't even try to teach the other kids behind us. We was like, fuck it, we going underground. If you don't figure it out, then good luck with the hot boys. And then later it was good luck. And then we saw Lupe and we was like, kind of good luck. And then 10 years later we saw J. Cole, was like, yuck. But we was also
Give
the
Kendrick
last.
some credit.
Shout out to J. Cole.
I mean, but I was the last element of
Going from
hip hop
Lupe
head.
to
And
J.
not
Cole
even-
is a little
not
unfair.
even- Not even late.
Kendrick
who's-
exists.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, what I'm just saying is a little bit of hate towards J. Cole because I do that. But
Jermaine, sorry, not sorry.
I just don't.
I
You
wanna
old-
fold clothes
yo,
for you.
neoliberals, old soft,
Make
just
you feel
inconsequential, non-book reading. I mean, come on, Doc.
Oh God.
I mean, anyways, but
wait, did he
there's a
just say
big-
he wasn't gonna get political?
no, but there's a big difference even between me and Late, who was like 3 years younger than me, because of that material difference in the conditions.
I mean, and because of the thing we always talk about, the radio, right?
Right,
That's
right.
the thing we always talk about, the radio.
What's that?
See?
Right?
Radio.
What's the radio? And that blows my mind because everything you do today, musically, only exists because we will listen to the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's my education comes from my father, who
Listen
is
to the
closer
and
to
you're
your
from
age than he is to
London,
mine.
dude. And they had real pirate radio.
Yeah, but my and that's
Shout
my
out
dad.
to
Like
Stitch.
pirate radio, sound systems because he's Jamaican. Like it's the sound system culture. It's the plugging your shit into a lamppost and competing with the crew at the end of the street.
Shout out to Goldie.
Big up Goldie. He was married to Björk. I was not.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
I don't know if they were married actually.
Okay.
Maybe common law marriage.
I want to be.
Let me recenter this again though, Terry, because I want to get more perspective on this, man. So how long have you been in Japan, and how long have you been running your studio?
I've
NDS?
lived in Japan for 16 years now. Since
Okay.
2006. No, it's 2006. So yeah, 15 years.
Okay.
16.
And when did you start your NDS studio?
So NDS literally stands for Nahoko Dance Studio. Nahoko
Okay.
is my wife's name.
Okay.
Oh,
So
Nahoko.
she
I
had been,
thought the N stood for something else.
no.
My bad.
So New York Dance Studio.
Yeah. That's it.
Nah. No, so what it was is I'm gonna be real. I had zero. I probably -5 interest in owning a fucking dance studio.
Your shit is live though.
Right?
Your shit is live.
I had no interest in owning a dance studio. Why? Because I was living my life on the road. Right? I was on the road constantly, and I have this thing about dance studios, because when you own a dance studio, you have, especially as a dancer that is all about the culture first, even before we get to the moves.
It's not just dance; it's education. It's
And
it's
when-
lifestyle.
Exactly. And then when you own a dance studio, you have to play the game to make the parents happy. And my wife is awesome.
So
at
there's
playing
tap
that
dancing
game.
involved, even though it's not.
Yeah.
A little
AKA
shuck and
customer
jive.
And we got
service.
tap dancing in my studio too.
Yeah, I mean.
So like it gets, even now it gets a little bit like emotionally difficult sometimes, and I gotta roll my eyes and just go upstairs. So she had been teaching choreography and stuff like that for a long time, because she's a bit of a G.
Yo, I didn't even say, man. Shout out to my man Soul Dope 95. All the beats on this episode are brought to you by him.
Yo,
He's
the
my guy that
That sample is Why Can't We Smile by, hold on, give me a second.
Sampled.
you so good with the sample draws too.
I did this last time I was here.
Yeah, he put a
Jimmy
the
Hammond.
poet.
I mean, no. Jimmy Hammond? Johnny Hammond. Why Can't We Smile?
I'm gonna run it back.
Sheesh. that's-
Magic Trip, Soul Dope 95, my man from Cali.
That dude's
He's
a
also
wizard. That dude's a wizard.
he's incredible, man. He's supposed to be making me an intro beat. It's been a couple
Yo.
weeks, my guy.
Yo,
You know,
if we
appreciate
pull that
you. That's
song
my
out,
brother.
I'm going to play the original to Why
Okay.
Can't We Smile.
I
That's
okay.
gonna
told
be my
A
song.
Valley I had some shit for him like a month ago, and I haven't sent it to him. So
Okay.
It's all
Nah,
good.
there's no love lost, man. I know Soul Dope got, you know what I mean? He got me
Producers
in
are
the-
slow as fuck.
Yeah,
I should
yeah,
know.
yeah. He's
So-
dope, man, but yeah.
Like, so yeah, she's been running that studio since she was about 15. Like from her mom's house, and so I came in and I jumped on. It's really her thing.
Okay.
I'm just there, right? Which is why I went out and started my parties. and
Wait,
all
was
this
I
stuff so
drunk
could
or
do my
something?
thing.
Like who is the woman? Is it your wife? You
It's
talking
my
about?
wife. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Am I? You
Nahoko.
know, me, my sobriety
Nahoko
is
Dance
off.
Studio.
Nahoko
My
Dance
bad.
Studio.
Okay.
Don't get. Don't do that.
Hey,
Disclaimer.
I thought that was it, but some
I
reason in
had
my
nothing to
He
do
space.
was
with
off the wagon. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
But yeah, so
Back on my bullshit.
So she's been running that studio since she was like 15, and I'm about to blow her up. She's 44 now. So
She
that's
does
a
I
I'm
told
long
you,
time.
yo,
44.
last
Yeah.
time I was hella drunk, but I was like, yo, Terry, like, how do you do it, dog? It's like, why your wife so fine as hell?
And I was like, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm like, what do you do, dog? Like, your wife is fine as hell.
me.
I was pretty drunk last time we saw each
Yo,
other, actually.
You were perfectly drunk, dude. Like it was like you were at that perfect level of I'm not
The
falling
Zen master
down.
drunkenness?
Yeah, you were
Where
right
my
there. I
kung
was
fu
like,
gets really good. I'll be
that
telling
dude.
guys. My wife was mad, but I was like, yo, everybody the next day told me I was great.
Then when I went home, I was like, that motherfucker went drunk.
Yeah. I remember a few parts of the conversations, but I do remember this one with Terry. I was like, Terry, man, you were such an influence to me. I don't know how you do it, man. Why your wife so fine as hell?
And I was just like, I Nah.
because what happened was the first time I seen her, like she was just walking by, I was with Late, and I was like, damn, dog, I'm telling you, they're making these Japanese women different. I was like, when they reach a certain age, they just ripen. And I was like, she bad. He's like, yo, that's Terry's wife. And I was like, that's my dog. I was like, that's my dog. I was like, I know it.
I'm not one of those people that trip about that shit because it's just like,
Well, I mean, you know, there's no
Yeah.
like, there's no malintent, you know what I mean? But like, yeah,
it's like-
I was just like, I was like, she is a beautiful human.
that's not
A
what you said.
beautiful-
I'm absolutely
She's
sure.
a wonderful,
I
just
see her
human.
soul. She's
Yeah.
such a beautiful spirit.
From the inside, I could tell that she was
Oh my god.
keeper. A keeper.
Yo,
Diamond in the rough.
No, but you know what I mean.
Becky Lane show.
I wanted to get reckless a little bit tonight. I
That's
wanted to
what's
get
up.
reckless.
Oh
But
man.
I took this. I'll be taking this all the way off the con. If you see her, you're gonna say the same thing. I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, man, my man Terry that's why you out here 16.
He's
He
stupid.
decided to stay.
Change the subject.
I mean, he the same one talking about Mariah Carey is everywhere in New York. Like,
Yo.
why wouldn't you go to New York?
But
It's
for
empty.
real, if you go to New York, Mariah Carey didn't sing and wasn't famous, she would just look like another girl from Long
Oh
Island.
yeah. I mean, only reason she still
Strong
looked that
Island.
good is
Brandon.
because she got all that billionaire money, all that money. So,
Right?
yeah.
Jenny from the block.
Yeah,
Son,
yeah.
go
I
to
told
the
y'all about
Bronx.
Phoenicia.
Damn, Jenny
I
from the block
told
saying
y'all about
ain't
Phoenicia.
shit in comparison to the shit that's really happening in the
I
Bronx.
ain't nobody care. I didn't think she was bad when she was a fly girl either. But but okay, so I'm gonna try to recenter it because we only got so much time here.
We're gonna talk about his name.
I want you to tell me a little bit more about your perception of house culture, not just in Japan, but globally right now. Like,
So,
because it's different. Like,
it's-
b-boying has made it into the Olympics,
Yeah.
which is fucking weird as shit.
Corny.
It's weird as shit to me, and the rules is weird as shit to me, and it's
Corny.
problematic.
Emoji.
But
Sigh.
but I don't know much about house culture. I could tell you about b-boy culture as an outsider because
Yeah.
I haven't really. The closest I've got to it recently, my wife is a b-girl. My wife is her crew is still one of the best crews in Japan, and I gotta see her ex-boyfriend on advertisements and shit.
It
This
don't matter.
motherfucker I mean, he's ill. He's dope as fuck.
But-
But I don't
Niggas
care.
but
you
know
with
what
her.
I mean? That's true. I don't care.
It's
either.
not personal, but fuck that
Right,
dude.
right. Hey, no, I don't even gotta say that because I'll whoop his little ass. That little motherfucker ain't got shit on me, and that's the
Yo.
only thing that matters.
Yo, so
No, but-
okay, actually, this is the perfect time to talk about this because it's Pride Month, right? The perfect time to talk about this, and there is no way to have this entire house culture without the LGBTQ
100%.
community,
Yes.
who, well, that's what we call them now, but before it was like just the gay community. back
Yeah.
then. So what it was is, it was the feminine to hip hop's masculine. And
I've never heard it
feminine-
framed that way before, but it makes
feminine
perfect
doesn't
sense.
necessarily mean woman because we're all feminine and masculine, right? But it was the soft side of what hip hop was. It was the escape for everyone. Like, they built this place for even straight men and women to escape to. That's where it started. You know,
Kids
and-
don't know that.
and kids don't-
Kids
exactly.
don't know that. I
Kids
mean,
don't know that.
There's videos of MF Doom rocking with KMD, and you know what's on stage? Fucking dancers.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know when hip hop got scared of fucking having fun,
And MF
but I blame
Doom,
Illmatic.
MF Doom and KMD, all of those motherfuckers used to be in the house clubs. They would be in the house clubs. Why? Because hip hop was violent. And especially even this is pre me going out, before I was going out. Clubs like Latin Quarters, Rooftop, and all that shit, those fucking clubs were notoriously violent. So if you needed a break from that, you would go to where they were playing house music. And house was predominantly gay, but it was about having fun, being free, being happy, and just enjoying life.
You know, one thing that I've noticed too, and largely thanks to you, even DJ Spinna, Marley Mall.
Yep.
You know what's interesting? A lot of the older heads that are hip hop heads, DJ Scratch and shit. You know what they prefer to spin?
House.
House music.
House. and
not because they're like all old new hip hop sucks, because they still making a lot of
Yeah.
that shit. Scratch was on the last Switch Beats album with a Nas track and shit. You know what I mean? But they prefer to play house.
there's video of some of the members of Onyx in the house club dancing to house music.
They still had on a meme mug, the old screw face.
No, right?
It's rare to see sticky fingers
Sticky fingers.
without.
It was sticky fingers.
Just-
It
You know
was
what I mean?
sticky
Let my hair
at
down.
that time, and he was what they now call a house dancer at that time. And it's funny because it wasn't separate. You can go to this club called Sticky Mike's and hear everything from dance hall through to house music and funk and disco. So it wasn't separate in the 90s. In the 80s, it was separate. In the 90s, it all got together. And then now it's separated in a whole different way. Like before, when it was separate, it wasn't far away. You can walk down the street from one place to the other. But now it feels like it's miles away. The idea of both of the styles are just miles away. The idea of the music's are miles away. Even though, funny enough, hip hop has gotten so electronic
Yes.
that it's gotten closer together, but the mentality has gone miles away. It's a weird thing that's happening. And I wanted to kind of get back together where it's fun again. I miss like CNC Music Factory and all that shit.
Shout out to Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Yo, for real.
Come on.
I got the power. Yo, front if you want. Listen to the lyrics in that song. It's actually, he's actually a really fucking dope lyricist.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite songs. Back
Don't
then.
say
That was
this.
what,
Don't
90
say that. Change your lyrics.
91,
Everybody's a
92?
critic. It's getting kind of hectic. Even his flow.
It's getting.
Hey.
Like it was a really dope song. And this is what I mean that hip hop was here, house was here, but we were still super
there.
close.
Yeah, it was right
And
there.
at this time
Listen
in
to
the 90s,
those
it was in the
bells,
same
yeah.
place.
Yeah.
There's a really good article that was written by Dart Adams that kind of highlights this the second transition of hip hop from the first golden era, which was like 88. And then in 91, there was this kind of pushback between the idea of house being something that hip hop wanted to be associated with.
Yeah.
And then it was really punctuated and finalized by the New York kind of street rap persona that was hyper masculine, and the same thing that C. Dolores Tucker was warning us about.
So
Every episode.
I'm on my C. Dolores Tucker
C.
shit right
Dolores
now.
Tucker was right.
Wait.
Dolores Tucker was right. She
Hold
said
on.
this gang violence,
I paused
black
the
on black
music.
crime.
I'm telling you, I've been doing a lot more reading on C. Dolores Tucker, and I'm noticing a lot of the same things. And even in that, he was just listening to the podcast, this podcast together from Robin D.G. Kelly. And he was talking about this certain group of people who were the black leaders who were trying to shape this growing communist insurrection and power front in Alabama. And it's the same shit. But the thing is, with C. Dolores Tucker, even though she was a slumlord, and even though that she was very much in front of a lot of things that would have prevented NWA, she was also just exactly the material conditions that represented black people at the time. John Singleton's movies are the same message that C. Dolores Tucker was saying.
Wow.
And Baby
See
Boy
also Mega
Baby
Late Show episode 149, 148, 147, 146, 145 ad nauseum. Secret
tell
House
y'all-
Against the World.
I'm gonna tell y'all one day
Old Cypher
until
Divine.
somebody sits
Like,
down
comment,
and has a
subscribe.
conversation with me, let me write down this information. I want to lay it out. Baby Boy is the most racist black movie that I've ever seen, dog.
I hate you, Jody.
And I love that shit. The way that Ving Rhames, like, Jody tried to tell off Ving Rhames and shit, right? He tell off Ving Rhames, and he like, you ain't shit. I know they used to beat your son. And then when he closed his eyes, Ving Rhames run around the couch and put him in a headlock and licked the top of old Jody's old shiny ass head.
He's like,
Yo.
he's singing about Coca-Cola now, is
He was like, yo, and then his mom come out and Jody got a play it off and shit all fucked up. Yo, shout out to Ving Rhames. Shout out to the God. Hey man, Marcellus Wallace. Come
Oh
on,
my
baby.
God.
Yo, but I'm gonna have there must be a requiem for this. There must be a conversation about that. It's one of those political conversations that I do very much want to have.
So you got to keep MLS going, man.
He said he was.
I don't do that on MLS, though.
It is
I don't get political on
impossible for Mega to not be political.
It's all political.
You know why?
It's all political.
You know why? Because to be hip hop is to be political.
I don't know when that got lost. J. Cole, you don't read books? Get your ass out of
let's
here.
get back to house. Let's get back to
I'm
house.
sorry.
And I'm gonna get in some political shit. with
I
house,
got a
right?
question too. I got a question
all
too.
right.
So let me just mention this one extremely important thing. Wrigley Field, the burning of disco, the destruction of disco.
Okay.
So that was the most important moment in house music. This is pre-house, but the most important moment in house music history.
you mentioned this.
Why? Because they weren't burning disco. They weren't destroying disco. They were destroying black, gay
They were saying
music.
we don't like these queer.
Yeah, and especially like they were burning Marvin Gaye albums, dude. Marvin wasn't disco. They were just burning black music. So
Don't like those
now,
blacks.
I don't know this history. Yeah, you hit
so
me
you,
to
Disco
you didn't
sucks.
know
The
about
disco
the
sucks
disco
movement.
sucks thing.
No,
So now
I-
they call house music disco's revenge.
Right, I've heard that. Yeah.
House is disco's revenge, and that is the most important. And because it's disco's revenge, it's black music's revenge. Because as big as hip hop is, house, if I'm being honest, maybe equally as big. Because we talk about EDM, we talk about all these other little subgenres, but it's all fucking house music.
Right. I think maybe the major distinction is that the vocal aspects of hip hop make it inherently
inherently hip-hop.
like in like kind of indivisible from the plight of the damned and detested Moors of the
Yeah.
West, you know, whereas house is just like, this is a good dance.
But it's funny because Madonna is big because of house music, even though they don't label it. Like, it's just so many of these huge pop stars that are huge because of house music. You can put any subgenre you want, but at the end of the day, it's house music. And house is disco's revenge, which is black music's revenge. So all of that shit ends up falling under the category of just black music. Well, everything. is black music anyway.
How do you feel about house music as it is
music.
now? Is it something that is kind of as monetized and controlled and commodified as, I mean, it couldn't be, because hip hop music is the largest kind of most popular music genre right now, maybe, right?
That's arguable. That's arguable when it comes to house music, because hip hop is so stand out that you know it's hip hop, right? But there's a lot of house shit that you listen to on a regular, and you're like, this is not hip hop, and it's fucking house. So if we're gonna go into Afro house and click house and all of these different versions of house music, that you go to Berlin, dude, you're not gonna hear hip hop. You're gonna hear house music.
I would prefer that.
I mean, and before anybody gets slick, I fucking love hip hop. I grew up and I'm born to hip hop. So,
I know a little bit about hip hop stuff.
So,
I did a hip hop.
I have
before.
one more question though.
yeah.
To pile on that, how subversive can house be in this climate today when we're talking about
interesting
the reactions of capital when it comes to the commodification of black?
Well,
Great
it's
question.
funny because right now in the house world, it's like it's been in the past 10 years in house world. All of the house pioneers as DJs are getting paid a fraction of what these white boys are getting paid. A fraction, and then
the white boys created it.
Same
apparently.
shit,
then
different day.
these pioneers are not quiet about it. They're just like, who the fuck is that? Like, they're really like, who the fuck is this motherfucker? Like, pointing at his head, like, who's this motherfucker right here? And so I think while hip hop, it's almost unarguable about being black. House still has that little argument about if it being black and monetizing black music and all this stuff. So
we also got a lot of a large segment of the American black community, even global black community, who are fiercely against the idea of anything other than a conventional monogamous puritanical idea of relationships, right?
Yeah.
Fiercely anti-LGBTQ.
Yo, leave my girlfriend out of this, man.
I don't know if they're going to get that joke because I don't know if it was recorded earlier. But
might not be
shout
on
out
camera.
to
I hope you are recording.
the European. Shout out to the
He's a
European.
continental European.
So it's funny because there's a lot of black folks like, you can go in the house club. Like, yeah, whatever. He go to house club, you're gonna love it. And it's
Love
there's
Love
it's
it.
just I don't know how to I don't have the vocabulary for this. I think different is always going to be pushed aside, and still to this day, because it's not the quote unquote norm, gay, trans, queer is different, and that's in every single group and class of folks. That gay, queer, trans is different.
Considering my age, I feel as though that I unraveled a lot of my kind of aversion towards homosexuality and trans people, and like I grew up around cats that like to call people the fag as like a funny thing. Oh, you're
F-word.
and then
F-word.
Beep it out.
even then I was kind of like, ugh, you know what I mean? Like, why? It's a little bit corny, but for you growing up around that community and also being older, how quickly were you able to unravel that? And do you still have kind of fragments of that anti-trans
Man, you
thing?
saying a lot of words be like, hey man, Terry, are you homophobic?
No, not even. I mean, just like, but you're right. You basically right about
Yo,
it. Now, I know you're not homophobic, but I mean, like, how quickly did you get away from that?
To be a straight male is to be homophobic in some sense or another, right? To be homophobic, because if a dude grabbed my ass, I'm like, hey, what you doing? I mean,
But if a chick grabbed my ass, I'd be like, hey, do it again.
hey,
Right?
Hey.
Watch out, my wife almost saw that.
can you rub it?
Yeah.
But so to be a straight male is to be homophobic to a degree, and we can't avoid it. We can only do our best to deal with it and correct it when we notice it, and we should fucking notice it. But I still don't want nobody grab my ass. I don't want no random people grab my ass.
Yeah, consent is key.
Consent.
Yeah.
So but I think that now that I'm at this point in this world, like when I was younger, God, the first time I went to a house club, I think I was 17, and it might have been Club Shelter in New York City. And the Shelter. And I remember...
Yo, is the Shelter the club that DMX was in on the Get At Me Dog video?
I don't know. I'm going to check that. I'm going to check that.
Unrelated, but shouts out to Shimokitas Our Shelter as well.
Not the real Shelter.
not the real Shelter, but
it provides shelter.
it is to Japanese independent rock music what
Okay, yeah, now I know that Shelter.
the Shelter would be
to house.
to house. Yeah.
So in the Shelter, like the Shelter was predominantly gay. There's no way to avoid it. I'm 17 and this story is going to be good. So I'm in the club, I'm rocking out, 17 years old. And this big dude, it's just like big prison gay dude.
Prison gay.
And I was like, damn, he kept following me. He was
Is
like,
prison
hey,
gay the most frightening
Hey.
form of gay for
Hey.
black men?
Hey, a 15-year-old black man.
I think it might be the most frightening form for the
Yeah, we could talk about all
the
this.
cis black man.
Right? And he was like, hey,
reason
he
why
was like,
you're not going to jail
he
today.
kept pushing up. And I was like, yo, I'm straight. And he said, no, I said, no, yo, I'm not gay. He said, you don't know that.
Oh my god! I feel like that's aggressive. Like, that's violent.
Say the least.
Man.
And I was just like, oh, wow, this is how women feel.
Yeah.
So that
What
was
do
an
you get put in that
enlightening
position?
moment because
Is that aha
if you
moment?
come from the hood with a lot of Caribbean folks, Caribbean dudes will grab a woman by their arm
Oh
like
yeah,
this.
yeah. You getting too much right there, even with the example. I'm like, I felt frightened. I was like, Maurice, protect me.
You're too close.
Like, and they
close.
literally would grab, and I'm just like, and I grew up, and Flatbush is really Caribbean, so I grew up around that, and that was the quote unquote norm.
Right.
It wasn't fresh. Even I thought like I said, how often does that work? That shit don't work a lot, right? So I thought it was corny, but it was a quote unquote norm. And in that situation, it taught me something. It gave me perspective. It gave me kind of the like pseudo female perspective of being harassed, sexually harassed by a man. And then it also gave me perspective of the gay world. Like, oh, because after he said that, he kind of left me alone. It wasn't like raw. He just left me alone. I was just like,
it's one of those. It's one of those things, though. It's very Socratic. He was like, you don't know that. You walked away like, I don't.
Yeah, yo. What's funny is I was like,
a lot of people might have come to find themselves in a moment like that. You know what I mean? Like, word.
And it's funny because that same club, that same night was my first night because I went to the shelter the first night it opened in 1992. That night, my cousin, who's a year older than me, came with me. And my cousin, unbeknownst to me at that particular time, was gay. So he kept going out. And I think that club, that experience changed his life and gave him a different perspective about who he was.
Oh,
for me, I was like, whoa, hey, whoa. But, yo, I went back the next week, though.
Hey, man, I can tell you, every time that I've ever been hit on by a transgender person or a gay person, I've always been flattered. Like, thank you. You notice.
At
I'm attracted. There's a lot of effort that goes into
at
this.
At 17, even if it was a grown-ass woman, I would probably be like, I'm a little scared at 17, right? But it was, this dude was bigger than you. Like,
I'm telling you, one of the scariest things. You said prison gay. I got the image in my head.
He was,
like it, and I want you.
He was Debo.
The hard way.
I mean, yeah. All right.
A man's butt.
But
yeah, it gives you growing up and going to that world repeatedly gives you a perspective that you take back to the hood, and you can see the wrongs that we do in the hood. And from like even my brother, bless his heart, my brother is homophobic like crazy, and I'm always telling him about his shit. Like, yo, you need to chill. They ain't paying no attention to you, and if they are, just say no and walk away. But he can't let that shit go. He's not violent, but
can I tell you a story about Elder Sensei real quick? Shout out to Elder Sensei. Elder Sensei, incredible MC, and you know he's also a man, so he's trying to do away with his homophobia. He himself was just like, we were having a conversation one night, me, him, Sarasa, Kathy, and Late, right? And we're all together, and he was just like, I just don't want don't try to hit on me, don't try to look at me, which is a common thing that a lot of people say when they're trying to explain how they're not homophobic or they are okay with it but not okay with it.
I'm not racist. I have black
I'm not
friends. Just,
right.
I wouldn't bring it home.
So he was just like, I just don't want them to hit on me. And I was just like, why would they want? I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like,
I play this off all the time to my friends when I hear this shit from people. I'm like, look, yo, I'm a professional fashion model. I'm a pretty dude, right? You're good. Like,
he's straight. He's straight. Anyway, want to fuck your
good.
ass. But
modesty.
What I was trying to say is like Late said the funniest shit in front of them because they was saying all this homophobic, and I was trying to explain it away and try to be as kind as I can because I look at Elder Sensei as an OG. He's a person who's a famous person and amazing. So I was trying to pull my punches on it and be as respectful as I can while not letting somebody do anything that I felt was wrong. And Late was like, I'm into gay shit. And that's all he said. He said, I'm into the gay shit. And he was like, I don't know. I'm fine with it. I'm into gay shit. And then everybody got quiet. And I was like, that's my dog.
Late.
I know.
I love Late.
And Late wasn't trying to be funny. He was just like, I'm into gay shit. And meaning that he just fine with it, yo. I miss my brother Late, man. I wish he was here.
Can I just say one thing? Like this, it's funny that this conversation turned into this direction. I think it's so dope that 4 straight men are sitting here talking about homosexuality comfortably. Like that's just amazing because in my generation, this would never
you're right.
happen. This would never. And this is how far we've come with our thinking. Like, as fucked up as the world is now, I think that we've taken strides. Like we've
You're right.
taken super
Definitely.
strides in a lot of shit in the way that we think, and our kids will have an entirely. Because when I was a little kid, man, I've heard my mother used to be super homophobic. Like I had to straight, like me and her had to have a talk about my cousin who I was telling you about. She used to, and I used to hear her say like sissy, he's a F word all this time. All the time I would hear my mother say this.
Yeah, don't hold your hand like that. Don't stand like
Right,
that. You
exactly,
don't wanna be-
exactly.
Why you
don't
got your
wanna be
hands on
fair.
your hips like
Come
that?
on.
Exactly. Why are you doing double dutch?
Yeah.
Because double dutch is fun. You know?
Why you wearing your sister's clothes, Mega?
How dare you put on my
Hey,
bra?
I was feeling it.
So and I just think it's funny, but I mean, personally, I've been comfortable with my sexuality. I'm a straight dude, and I've been comfortable with my sexuality enough to be around gay people all the time, no problem. But I think it's dope that it's for straight. Well, I'm assuming for straight.
Correct. I think. Yeah.
I'm pretty cis
You know?
for the most part, I guess.
Cishead.
I don't know. I'm attracted to women, so if I
Likewise,
see a
yeah.
trans woman that looks beautiful, I'm like, damn, she looks fine.
I've been like,
That's kind of where I get it.
and when I was younger, I was like, does that make me gay?
Yes, apparently yes.
But yeah, I think this conversation
It's strange.
shows
Yeah.
how far we've just come as humans.
Although you are talking
on
to
our
maybe the
thinking.
3 most leftist niggas in Tokyo. So
I was about to say, yeah, we are exceptions.
Yeah.
I
to
didn't
the
mention it
rule.
earlier, but he is definitely a Marxist.
No, I know.
leftist.
We've
Yeah,
no, we've had this conversation.
yeah.
Us two and Dorothy sitting around
Yeah,
like,
yeah, shout out to Dodo.
Yeah.
big up Dorothy Wong.
But
Dorothy Wong.
yeah, but I also want to say, and we'll wrap it up in a minute because I know you got to get out of here, Terry.
Sorry.
But this is one of the reasons I wanted to get us together, man, because all of my friends are dope. And I wouldn't want to continue doing this Mega Late Show if I kept on running to idiots and corny cats
Corny
and,
ass
and cornballs. But
motherfuckers.
it seems
some
as
of 'em out there,
though
though.
every person that I meet is dope. And that's why I wanted to get you on here tonight for 150, Terry,
Laws
because
of attraction, son.
you've also introduced me to so many cats that have just enriched my life. Yinka, I met at Speakeasy.
Yink.
I mean, all of these people have really, you know what I mean? And I look at you, and I told you that I wasn't going to call you OG no more because I had young homies call me OG, and I felt a way about it. I'm like, hey, what the? Hold on, dog. What do you mean OG? But I told you I'm not going to call you OG no more, and I maintain that. But what I do want to say is that, man, I value our friendship tremendously.
Thank you,
and I
brother.
think that what you do out here and what you've done with not only the dance community, but what you're doing for Japan for Black Lives is important and imperative. And also just your general perspective on life is always something that gives me a better perspective and a different vantage point in a different position. So thank you so much for joining me again today, my
Thank you,
brother,
man.
More people need to hear your stories because this is when it comes to these two cultures, like actual hip hop culture and house music culture, the books haven't been written.
Yeah, for real.
The OGs haven't stamped it yet.
For real.
And even the shit that I get from the Big Payback and Can't Stop, Won't Stop, those are only partial historical records of what's going on here. And in fact, in Can't Stop, Won't Stop, he says a lot of negative things about C. Dolores Tucker.
You know, and it's
right,
funny.
I'll use that as an
What's
opportunity
funny
to
is
cut
a
in.
lot of the people that write those books, it's like, you know, those ant farms. It's like they're the humans standing outside the ant farm, looking at the ant farm, writing the
Sure.
book about the ant farm. That's what they are. People, it's like, I don't know. It's funny. A few friends of mine, Rennie Harris, his name is Rennie Harris, and he has like the first real hip hop dance company in the United States that gets funded by lots of organizations. But he gets grants to research, literally, to research himself to do shows. He gets paid, and I was like, shit.
Hey, that's a
That's a
racket.
hustle
I
right there.
research myself every night,
Racket.
son.
All day by myself.
But like on that note, we're just living in these shells. We're living these lives. We're just living. We're not researching ourselves and going, very few of us go and write books after, you know, we're just fucking living. And if I'm being real, I don't as a dyslexic, writing a book for me would be like pulling teeth. And to sit down and research and go through all of that stuff and relive the traumas that we lived through, because we have to also remember that the shit that we've lived through is traumatic. Sometimes for us living in the life to go and do that and sit and write a book is difficult. It's really
That's
difficult.
why this whole Mega Late Show has been kind of an ethnographic approach of finding about the culture here in Tokyo. Like, I'm in it, I'm living it, I'm talking about it, I'm sharing it. And through cats like you and Kenbo and Kensuke and India Davenport and all of these people who are here and doing things, DJ Quiet Storm, like, these are cats that are of the culture, and this Mega Late Show is never going to go off of the internet if I have any say in it, because I feel like these conversations are important. And I still haven't peeled back all of the layers of Brooklyn Terry that I really want to get to. In fact, I had the questions that I wanted to ask and some of the things I want to talk about. I didn't even get to it today, but
Which I said I had a question.
ahead,
We
go ahead,
didn't pull up on it.
he gotta leave in 7 minutes.
All right, cool. This is so you were in my hometown of London, UK last year.
Many times, actually.
Many times
IG
throughout
culture.
your career.
Big up IG.
And you talked about the separation of hip hop from house.
Yep.
And I feel like the UK hip hop culture is still very intrinsically tied to both house and dance music
Absolutely.
culture. You know, grime obviously comes from UK garage.
Yep.
And that UK garage culture is a form of dance music.
Garage.
Yep. So
So that's why I want to know your opinion.
my opinion, first of all, grime, bass, broken beat, garage, or as I would say, garage.
Oh, we look at each other. Look at this old
It's
fancy.
fucking-
Where you
I'm half
from,
French,
dog?
you're good.
It's fucking
Where you
dope.
from? Where your grandma
And
from?
The UK's, and I'm not even going to talk about the white UK contribution. The black UK's contribution to house music is extreme, because without the UK, house would have died. House was made in Chicago, skipped past New York, went to the UK, blew the fuck up, came back to New York, found different routes, and then traveled around the world, right? So what the UK does, because it had a grasp of, and the UK has this crazy love for black music anyway, had a grasp
we
of,
exist. We're black, we're British. It's a different experience.
No, I'm
but
talking
we
about
exist.
the white UK has a crazy love. I mean, think about the Rolling Stones.
Sure, yeah.
They're named after a song by Muddy Waters. So what happened was the roots of house music dug in so deep, right alongside the roots of hip hop, dug in so deep, which is also right alongside of reggae and dancehall. So I think that musical experience sometimes in the UK can be richer than that of the huge ass United States, but if not by size alone, because the UK is just like a fucking island that took over the world and fucked up the whole planet. But it's a whole different
My
story.
bad.
Right?
Yeah, we blame you specifically.
Right? But
Blame a British Jamaican dude.
it's
Unfortunately,
super rich.
Yeah, I gotta
It's-
direct this anger somewhere.
It's super rich, like all of the little subgenres, and I think a lot of the subgenres that we hear in the States or around the world when it comes to house and even hip hop can be corny in comparison to the stuff that's your grime is awesome.
Yeah.
And I've been listening to what's that before it was grime. I forgot the hip hop group's name.
So solid
Roots
crew.
Maneuver.
Roots
Roots
Maneuver.
the big Roots Maneuver.
When I heard Roots Maneuver for the first
Rodney
time, I was like,
Hilton
shut
Smith.
the fuck up. Really? And Roots Maneuver had, of course, the Jamaican flavor. And it had hip hop flavor. And some of the fucking tracks were like electronic and housey. And it was just everything I knew in one bowl. And I was like,
Brand new
this is
secondhand.
dope. And then
Maneuver.
and then grime took over. And at first I was just like, lyrically, grime is kind of corny. That was in the beginning. Because I was used to Roots Maneuver, which was no joke. But then they grew and they grew and they grew and they grew. And now, oh my. Like, so yeah, I am 100. Sometimes, the last time I was in London, I told London, like, yo, you guys' music is way better than New York. And my friends will kill me if they heard me say that. And it's the truth, though. It's the truth. So yeah, I've been to co-op. You know co-op. You're too young.
There's a co-op just around the corner from my house.
So
From my mom's house.
I can give you some IG culture. You should check IG culture. IG culture
Okay.
is one of you guys' biggest. Like he's produced for some of the best artists on the planet, and he was all this lo-fi beat making before this machine existed. So IG is the bomb, and that's my home.
That's right, young buck.
He's
We
actually
need-
one of the pioneers of broken beat music.
Big up IG culture.
Instagram culture. Go get on Instagram. Figure it out. Hey, man. I mean, we would need multiple hours and multiple episodes to really get the perspective that I want to get from Terry. But we're gonna wrap it up here because it's
Wait.
been a long ass episode.
I gotta give some shout outs to like.
I'm gonna give everybody just
Free
an opportunity
promos.
to do their plugs.
Pluggy
But first,
plug.
I want to let you guys know that all the beats on this episode are brought to you by Soul Dope 95, soul.dope.95. You can find him on Instagram and also his YouTube channel. Easily, just type it in there. Also, my new shirt that I have here, which was created by our guy David
Oh,
Whitaker
you
from the Soul
copped
Food
it.
House. I make Black History. Support
Damn.
local and
We
independent
just made
music.
Black
Support
History
local
today,
and
baby.
independent art. Support local and independent industry. Seize the means of production. Seize the mean mug. Seize all of the things that you can seize. Seize the sea. Throw people out the window. And I want you guys to go check out Japan for Black Lives, which is an organization that Terry helped found with my homegirl Naomi Kawahara. Let's get some social media implications.
Okay.
Also, I'm your man, Grand Mega Flowers, Master of Quality, Goon Allah. Find me, Secret House Against the World.
Am I going?
Yeah, bust
so,
it.
All right. So first, my shirt that I have on. This is all of the projects in Brooklyn that all of these great MCs came out of, and we are doing this through a company called Corner Deli Store. Me and my man K Cuts. So please
Damn, I gotta buy
check
another
it out.
shirt.
Check it out. Next thing is my parties. I should shout out
Yeah,
my parties.
please do.
The next
6/19,
Speakeasy.
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth
Get your
isn't
brisket.
Speakeasy, but Juneteenth at Edition in Aoyama. Juneteenth at Edition. I think probably by the time this comes out, it's gonna be
No, this come out in like 2 days.
okay. Dope. Juneteenth, which is June 19th for those that don't know. Edition Aoyama. After that, I'll be playing at the Room Cafe at Stream on July 3rd. At Stream, like that big outside place in that little courtyard of Stream. And the big event, Speakeasy TYO. It's not until October. It's October 3rd. So it's 3rd to 4th.
I'm gonna let y'all know about these shows in the future, hella in the future. But the Juneteenth one, definitely, I'm gonna keep shouting out. Get to that one immediately.
Get to it. So we're camping for Speakeasy. It's a camping.
there.
We're camping overnight.
Abu Nai.
And it's in Chiba. It's in Chiba.
It sound fun. It look
At-
great.
Oh,
Oceans.
no.
Oceans Camp in Torami. So yeah, that's what I got going on now. I'll send all the plugs to this guy.
Yeah. I'll reshare it on the joints. I'll let you guys know when it's going down.
Who's next?
Jet Axel.
Jet Axel,
I don't like that. That's your real name. It's so hard. I got to be like
Really?
Grand
That's
Mega
your
Flowers.
real
Jet
name?
Axel, that's my birth
Like
name.
on his
so my birth
birth
certificate.
How
Yep.
fucking cool were your parents? They named
Very.
me Terry Wright, the fucking most English corny
I-
name.
Terry.
I don't want to give my parents too much props
Wait, you're
because
not
I
a-
talked about fucking a girl earlier on the channel, and sometimes my parents watch this shit. Mom,
Hey.
Dad, I love you. I'm sorry. You know what I get up to.
Your son's fucking a girl.
Oh my goodness.
Premarital
Grown
sex.
man.
at Jet Axel,
getting
aka
nasty,
Death
nasty.
Black Hell, aka Stacks Paper Mill Jr., aka Skeng Beautiful.
about type?
Fuck with me. Type 4.
You doing that? Are you doing
yeah,
that?
we'll do type
Alright.
4. Fuck it. Type __4. Cool. I need to use the bathroom. Peace.
Bet. Enjoy the toilet. I gotta use it too. Actually, I'm glad
has
you
to
drink
go
that
to
other
the
beer.
loo.
But yeah,
All right. My name is my name, man. I keep it short, man. Maurice L. Shelton at Instagram. You can find me anywhere. Maurice Shelton on Twitter. I retweet. I lurk. I hunt trolls. Unapologetically black. Unambiguously black.
Word.
I'm
love all of
ambiguously
you.
black.
Yeah. I'm pro-black, not anti-black. Anti-black. Yeah. So fuck with me, babies. All my kids out there that are listening, hey, don't use the bad words daddy and all the other men we're using, okay? It's
Use
okay.
them when you get older.
Yeah, just use them when you get to be my age, okay? If you're lucky enough, okay? All right. And everybody else watching, please keep watching, keep supporting the struggle.
Mega Late Show. Grand Mega Flowers.
Y'all know the vibes.
Shout out to Monkey D.
Hey, that's my dog.
Subversive. See, we can eat as much as we want every day, man. Fuck capitalism.
Yo.
Yes. I like that punctuation.
Capitalism is just another name for white supremacy.